What's up, ladies and gents? It's Dan from Dark Previews here. We're going to be interviewing somebody special tonight. Um, Full disclosure, we're not going to be showing his face. We're not going to use his real name. So, for example purposes, we're gonna call him Mark today. Don't want any more heat on him than he already has. So, I'll bring him in so you can hear his wonderful voice. Mark, welcome, brother.
Hello, friends. How are we?
we're not as good as you, let me tell you. Now, this is some astonished accomplishment. You pulled approximately, we had to round down, round up. It's hard with all those slips, but about $170,000 in sports bet winnings over the past fortnight. Now, realistically, that was like, what, 3 or 4 games?
Yeah, so it's basically the Warriors, the majority of it on the Cowboys, which I think lots of people cleaned up on.
Yep.
And yeah, it was about 30. So yesterday's wasn't as much. It was basically 30, the first and last, and the middle game was the big 100 and
120, right? Something
100,
like that?
yeah, 125, something like that.
Jesus. So, look, I've got a lot of questions to take you through. I've got some of your slips that we can talk through. The live chat, I'm sure, is going to explode. So, people might ask some questions there, but I'll facilitate the whole conversation for you. But firstly, how are you feeling? 170K plus in winnings. How are you feeling after all that?
Well, the first winning one I had was mainly DWZ.
Yeah.
I was just having dinner at the local Chinese restaurant in Beverly Hills, and I was just watching the game. And one try, two try, and then you're like, surely this guy gets a third. And then when he got, he's like, you know what, he's getting a fourth. And that's only because Sportsbet put that new fourth market. If it wasn't for that fourth market, there'd be no money. The money would have been maybe $19, $21 for a hat trick.
Yeah.
So $2,000. But when you got $100 at $91, maybe once or twice, there's your money.
Well, I'm going to start pulling slips up and then we can start talking about it, right? We don't want to talk about your life as a punter. You've been doing it for a long time. You've been in our Discord community probably close from day dot, right?
Yeah. That's sort of probably how I got back talking to you again. I just saw your NBA stuff and I was like, you know what? I know that guy. And just sort of joined.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Because I think I met you, we were like 15, 16 years old when I met you. Shit.
Yeah. Good old Granville boys.
The Granville boys. And look, you found your way into our Discord server. You've been punting along with us for a long time. Now you're giving out tips. So for anyone watching this and not part of our Discord, it's free to join. People like Mark sharing their tips every single day. So jump in and get amongst it. But Mark, let's start talking through some slips. And then we'll get some questions happening from the chat. So firstly, question from old mate Hobo. Is this gambling responsibly? He spelt it wrong, but he's a better punter than he is a speller. So first, were you gambling responsibly throughout this process?
The last couple of weeks, yeah. Have I always? No. But
definitely. And who has, right? Like, it's not fun gambling that way. But let's get some slips up, and then we can talk through them. So the very first one, this was not last week. This was a week prior. So the 23rd of June. It's got some of your best work. A lot of your bets seem to be centered around Dallin scoring a shit ton of tries. The juicy slip here, you got 4 tries at $91. You put 100 on it, so that was 9,000. Dallin and Montoya to combine for 3. You put $300 on that. And I think what was the top one? Was that 2 anytimes or 2? I was paying $7. Was Dallin for 2, Montoya for 1 or something?
Not sure, but it wasn't even worth showing, to be honest. Like,
yeah.
So it was something. It was probably Montoya and some sort of combination.
Yeah, but Dallin for 4. So what made you think Dallin was going to clean up in that week? Because you had a lot of bets with just Dallin.
My inspiration was bloody Will Warbrick the week before, and he scored 4, and I was dirty that I didn't even have him for a double. So Will Warbrick the week before, I don't know if anyone watched that game that Melbourne played, he scored 4. And when he scored 4, I said, fuck, like, should have had him for 1 or 2 or something. So I said, you know what? St. George, they're shit. St. George is shit. So, and, the Warriors have been in good form. Dallon's been in good form. So, but the original bet was put on because of Will Warbrick. That's the truth.
There's your inspiration.
Yeah,
Well, here's another banger that you hit. $50 at $191 odds. You got Dallin for 4 tries. Dallin or Montoya to score first. Dallin first try scorer. What were you thinking here?
I go back to Warbrick again. He scored first and he scored 4 that game.
Fucking Warbrick, huh?
That Melbourne game, Will Warbrick was first try scorer and he got the 4. So literally all bets were placed. I said, you know what? Dallin scores first. Dallin scores 4. We're on. It happened last week. Can it happen again? And it was scripted. It was perfect.
Yeah. So here's actually that goes straight into the Dolphins game. So let's just leave it at that. So on this Warriors game, what'd you pull at 26 grand all up?
Yeah. I think all. Do you want to know how much I outlaid all day, or is it not relevant?
No, let us know. Let the people know.
That game, I had, 1,500, because I'm pretty sure I did have a safe bet, like on these, the player score points. So I did have one with Lomax and Sean Johnson, and I'm pretty sure Lomax let me down. So a majority of my 1,500 was on like something ridiculous, like 500 or 800 on Lomax to score. I can't remember, it's that long ago now, but I thought it was the safest. So if that got up and the others collapsed, I was still in profit. But it was the risky ones that covered the safe one.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. No, it does. We got a question from Huncho in the chat. So was that your biggest win in one game? So I guess we'll get to that in a second. So Huncho, will park your question actually, because we haven't even got to the biggest one just yet. And yes, I'm drinking tea because I've been knocking back the beers every single day, and it's getting a bit difficult to wake up in the morning. So yes, I'm cranking a ginger and lemon tea. Mate, we're getting old. We can't just fucking pump through the beers every night. So, what do we have? Question from Cranks. What was going through your head? You're mid-shift and you're ready, and you're up 150k, so you're working. What was going through your head when you were working?
Yeah, so at the new place I'm at, Mark's and Meso's at Maldale. If you guys want to come support, Bistro's open 7 days a week, lunch and dinner. Basically, where I do the pass, so the boys are cooking. I put all the food together, and there's a TV outside, right? So you can see the game, the Cowboys and the Tigers. You can just see the game is game. They're pumping, so there's tries. I look out the screen, who scored. I'm just trying to see who scored, and I know who's on my slips. And then as soon as the game's close to an end, you see a massive score, and I just flicked up the screen, and I was like, no way. That's like 6 figures there. It was a bit of a shock. I said, fuck, I've hit. And then only after, I literally had 5-6 minutes before the next game, I was like, boys, cover me. We had so many dockets. I had to keep working because there's so many dockets coming in, and it was a busy Saturday night. So I had to do actual proper work. And then I think I quickly dropped $800 on stupid bets with the hammer and shit, just because I didn't have time. And I said, I'm gonna the 2K of shit bets. So I just quickly go back to work, and I turned the phone off. And then checked later. I knew I had a busy night in the restaurant, so I knew I made money from work. But then I said I got to check the bets later to see how much money. And then it's pretty insane.
Fucking crazy, because everyone was tagging you during the game when it was coming off, and we're like, where is this guy? We know he's won something.
So it's not that I'm ignoring him, or I've literally still got to work. So when you guys are on the piss, I'm working. I'm in the shit.
Yeah. And here's another one from that game. Another one of Dallin for 4. Fucking hell. Just glorious stuff. But all right, so you made 26 grand on the Saturday. Sunday rolls around.
There's probably be more than 20. Oh,
yeah.
This bet here is put on to, I think it's Bernie. So shout out to Bernie.
Shout out to Bernie.
Yeah, shout out to Bernie for this one because I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it was him. So hopefully give the right person credit. But
And this is the game where Parramatta pumped them in the first half, right? Just destroyed them in the first half.
So this game leads me to why I probably cleared up over 100K recently, or almost, because there's one bet that was just stupid that I put on, so that sort of got me my majority. But this game here is why I sort of did the 51 plus in the next few. So I'm a Parramatta supporter. I don't like betting on my team because they shit me in the ass all the time. But you know what? The Dolphins are on the decline. You know, Parramatta's not on an incline, but they're getting some good form, you know? So
yeah,
I said, this is the game to the 51 plus.
It's fucking brilliant. Actually, the next one's your Cowboys. So that's all you won the week prior. So you won this one, and then you went crazy in the Warriors game, right?
Yeah. So with this Parramatta game, I had the 51. I had the 51 plus at this game, right? So at 100 at 150, 15 grand, right? And I don't know if any of you remember. I think Parramatta were up 30 or 32-0 at halftime, something like that.
Yeah.
Or 6. The margin was still big, right? The cash out was like 7 grand. And I said, you know what? We'll go into the second half. Let Parramatta get 1 or 2 more tries, and we'll be sweet. You know, little did I know that the Wayne Bennett buddy bullshit that he pulls up with, Dolphins win the second half, right? So that cash out just went to nothing. And, you know, you can write out all the bets you want, but, you know, cashing out, if you've got 8 grand to cash out, you cash it out. So
and
I made the promise that
some examples of that most recent weekend.
Yeah, I said if there's a cash out on value, I cash out.
Yeah. All right, hectic. Well, let's get into the next round of slips, which is the most recent round of footy. Here's one for the Cowboys versus Tigers. So 74-0. This first one is Tuolangi Valamine Drinkwater all to score 2 or more tries. You put $100 on that. So that's $14,000 already. I predicted the Cowboys would pump these guys by 50 to get the revenge factor in. I didn't bet the way that you did. I only had one, I guess, juicy slip at $81, but you went hard in this game. So what was your thinking when you were plotting this game out?
Well, Tuolagi's good form, you know, bringing the origin spirit.
Yeah.
Fuck Queensland, you know, bringing the origin spirit. So he you know, he pumps up the boys. I don't know if anybody remembered, but I'm pretty sure Valamay scored 4 a couple of weeks or a month or so ago, didn't he?
Yeah.
Valamay had a great game, I think, on debut when he came, not debut, but since returning, you know, to replace Phil. And Drinkwater's been in hot form. So I think one of the boys in the chat had something similar, or maybe there's one slip that I also followed as well. I think it was one of these. So maybe shout out to Bernie again, possibly.
Yeah. I've got a screenshot of Bernie's one that he shared with you.
Yeah. So I think Bernie actually had this one, and then
I think it's this one. This is Bernie's one, I think.
All right, so I followed Bernie on this one as well, and then I just added that sick cunt Holmes. So that one, but yeah. So 2 is, you know, 2 is possible, and yeah, it was.
Look, I didn't even know you had a lot of the other ones running. I knew you had $100 on this one. So when this one came in, I celebrated because I was like, fuck, he just won 20 grand again after clearing 30 plus K the week before. And then when you shared us this slip, this is what everyone came to see. Is you had a $100 bonus bet on Tuolangi, Valamine, Drinkwater, and Holmes, all to score 2 more each. $676 odds. $67,500.
Well, I'm spewing. I'm spewing. I didn't have more, right? Like, it's one of those things. Until you win, you know, you're spewing. Just letting everybody know, I spent $2K on that 100 million Powerball.
Wow. Okay.
And I got $200 back. So fuck you, Powerball.
Yeah, you're probably better off with this. Fuck. So it's crazy, right? So a lot of people put like, you know, I think Bernie put $1 on this. Some other people in the not this one, sorry, on the other one, 200 to 1 odds. But Bernie had like $1 on it. Someone else had $5 on it to win 1K. And you see these types of slips on Facebook all the time. And the comment is, I wish I put more. So even though you had a $100 bonus bet on it and you won 67K, is your thinking still, I wish I put more?
Well, considering I'd been up the week before, I should have been a little bit more ballsy, So my $100 stakes the week before were $100. These should have been at least double, If you're up, you're up, right? If I would have rolled, who knew I would have had the momentum I had? But if I would have rolled the momentum, we could have been looking at maybe 300,000 this weekend. If I just grew a set of bigger balls,
That's
true.
only because I was up. Saying you're a bitch.
Only because I was up the week before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah, I don't know.
It's pretty crazy. So that's Bernie's one. You also had some others. So not only are you going crazy on try scorers, here's an example of how you play the 51 plus. Do you want to give us, why did you play this 3 different times?
Well, the reason I played 3 different times is because last week with Parramatta I only had it once.
Yeah.
So I had one at $100 at 151. So 151 doesn't matter if both teams are paying $1.90 even, both $1.90. 151 is the most you'll ever get on Sportsbet for that market. That's the most. Yeah. You'll never get paid out more than 151 to 1. That's it, right? So this one, obviously, that they knew it was going to be one, or they knew that they predicted it was going to be one-sided. So 51, which is still, good odds, right? But because I had one bet last week, I was reluctant to cash.
Yeah.
So I said, if I put 3 bets on, we're all hoping they have a big first half, regardless, what happens in the second half. As long as they have a strong first half, I'm in profit, right? And then the reason for the cash out is, Parramatta, a little bit unpredictable, but Cowboys just kept it going. But if they didn't, that cash out would have just got less and less. And as soon as they're on a downward decline, Sportsbet give you stupid cash out. That 3.5 would have been 1,000. And then at 1,000, because you're 3.5 originally, you don't cash it out. So you don't even cash out the shitter amount because you're so filthy at yourself for missing out. So this was before it got busy as well. Because what's that? 5:30 game starts, 6 o'clock, most of the customers aren't in yet. 6:15, no one comes for dinner yet. People come for dinner around 7, right?
Yeah.
So 6, 5, 7 o'clock, I know I'm so busy, I can't watch the game or touch my phone. So I said, you know what? I'm cashing out. I'm guaranteed like 10 grand. I'm sweet. I'm happy with 10 grand.
Yeah.
Whatever happens after that, I'm sweet.
You actually, you did the same with the Newcastle Knights, as we can see here.
I forgot I had that. I didn't catch them.
Yeah. So with Newcastle, you had it, right? So here you've got over 20K already that you cashed out in the Newcastle game. Very same formula. Yeah. And then when you look back, you actually found some where you didn't cash out.
Yeah.
Right all the way through.
Obviously, you can see the stakes are a lot less, but
yeah,
the Bulldogs are in turmoil. But again, I'm just rolling a bit of momentum from the day before,
Yeah.
If it happened the day before, you reckon it can happen again. So, I'm a big fan of the Ponga Young. If Young would have came in, I'm pretty sure Howard would have had a few more juicy slips.
Yeah.
I had Young and 13 plus, 30 plus, just for one score, one try.
Yeah.
But
I think Young did a lot of people dirty in that game.
Yeah, these ones here were pretty juicy.
Yeah. But I think you protected yourself, right? You've gone the first half tries. It's a pretty safe bet. You can throw big money at. You also just went the outcome of the game. Knights to win 51 plus is huge already, but you're not just stacking try scorers, right? A lot of people just stack try scorers. And if someone like Dom Young doesn't come over, they lose everything. But Dom Young fucked 90% of the punters in this country, and you still walked away with almost 20 grand?
Well, I don't know if what was it that Sunday? There was Sunday where there was real crap games where it was all forwards because defense in the middle was shit. I think it was last week. So the high scorers were all right. Forwards.
That was for the night.
Back. Yeah. So I said, you know what? I did have probably maybe one $500 bet, just Marzu, and Young just for one try score.
Yeah.
Double up. So that didn't hit. But then after a while, you just got to think whoever scores doesn't matter as long as they get the points.
Yeah, that's true, and it's a great play.
So yeah.
But look, those are all the slips. I'll take some questions from the group. I still have a few. I think one that I think everybody's wondering is you've won all this money. What are you going to do with it?
Well, there's 100K sitting in my account still.
In your
I put
Sportsbet account?
No, in my personal account.
Oh, right.
20 grand I've put away in another account because I want to go on a holiday in September.
Yeah.
20 grand I gave to the missus.
Yeah. Hey, what was her reaction?
Oh, she knows I party, and she knows I'm on my phone all the time. So I sort of gave her 20 grand just sort of that's for you. Leave me alone.
Hush
when
money.
I'm on my phone and not doing what I should be doing, leave me alone. Yeah. So, but to be honest, because I'm self-employed, probably half of that's just going to go back into the business.
Yeah.
Not go buy something. I don't really need too much. So not going to go buy a $10,000 watch or something like that.
Yeah. We'll reinvest it. Don't worry.
Though we need to have a night out, and somebody needs to make fake invitations, like pretend somebody's got a Bucks party. So boys listening, if you're in Sydney, make up an invitation. Somebody take the responsibility. Invite all of us. Make it look legit. So I got a free pass to go out.
No, hectic. We'll get a big night out at the Cass. We're on. I think it's happening. All the Sydney siders.
We've got to pick a day where there's a few games on, and hopefully we all come away winners as well.
Oh, yeah. We'll ride a Super Saturday for sure. A bit more serious questions around betting, though, Mark.
Yep.
I guess what are the strategies and approaches that you take when betting on the NRL? Because, a lot of people just bet on every single game, hope for 5 or 6 try scorers, and hope they can win something as juicy as this.
Yep.
What's your strategy?
So unless it's a game where, I really like the player, like I have a man crush on him or something, I'm just happy to go 1 or 2 try scorers just for singles or multi them up. Lower odds, $3. $200-300 at that. But it, sometimes to me it's not a great win, so I don't post it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if it hasn't got me excited, then it's not. Yeah, it's not worth sharing. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I only try to, the safe bets that I make a double up or close on, I don't share because I think it's not worth sharing. But from now on, I will.
Yeah, of course. Well, you got a lot of people tailing you now. I've got another question for you. So, winning slips like this tend to make their rounds on the socials. I'm sure of some tipsters have probably picked up your winning slip, claimed it as one of their own, saying, "Come join me, and you can win like this." What are your thoughts on that,
mate? I love it because I sort of do it as a little bit of bait, and I think it's hilarious. Like, because if you're in these groups and you know that if they're from there or not, do you know what I mean? And there's a lot of people out there who just so in love, or I don't know, just I can't even it's like a man crush. I don't understand how they can do it, but you know what? If they believe it, we'll let them. The ones on Facebook are the worst, but I think I know who you're referring to, but but that's just a little bit of me being a bit of banter.
Yeah.
Just to have it myself, say, hey, you know what? That's mine. It's all good, bro. If people are going to join up and help you, well,
yeah.
After a while, they'll say, "Where's these kind of tips?"
That's true. Look, Look, like even though you shared a lot of those in ours, I'm not using that as bait to get people in. So, because at the same time, we can't guarantee that's going to happen again.
Nah, we can't. But we hope there's a few more as these teams get towards the end of the year and stuff.
That's right.
We do hope there's at least one or two more. Don't get crazy on the Sharks game. We hope it comes through, but the Sharks, I think this year have had a couple of big first halves, but they've also been really disappointing as well. So if you did put the 50 plus already, and you can maybe double or triple your money, I think you should take.
Yeah, it's down to $26 now. So it's not as horny. Question from Astro. Do you pick certain players to score depending on what position they play on? So how do you decide on a player?
In terms of we all like to pick wingers. But I also like to pick wingers depending on who's outside them. Like I hardly ever touch Katoa because Ramian's a ball hog.
Yeah.
There's another great ball hog as well. Used to be Gagai, but Gagai wasn't in that game. And there's another centre.
Well, Herbie Farnworth's a good ball hog. Corey Oates hasn't scored a try this year.
Yeah, so there's a lot of these centres around who, unless it's Gutherson who does that cutout pass to Sivo.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. Gets saves a lot of people. Unless that happens, no. Garrick, wherever he plays, if he's on, he'll score. But it's sort of just looking at the stats and looking who's scoring and who's in form. And I believe everyone who's come out of Origin camp has been pretty hot.
Yeah.
And some players that I do put a single bet on, it's just because it's their milestone. Their milestone 50th, 100th, 150th, whatever game they're playing milestone. Most of the time they get the meat pie as well. So that's about it.
Absolutely. And I know you fancy the old horse race. Do you have any thoughts on picking winners for horse racing?
Horse racing, I just take a stab in the dark. Horses, I take a stab in the dark. Like at Shartin tonight, Purton, not the last meet, but the meet before. I think out of 7 races, he won like 2 or 3, and he placed in another 2 or 3. So if you would have had a safe multi, you would have hit. Tonight, I tried to put some on just because I'm up and I'm itchy. But nearly had a $6,000 win in the dogs today. Just missed. Put 500 on the dog. Nearly came in. But
couple centimeters. Do you have any strategies when it comes to the dogs, or are you just shooting in the dark there?
No, I got a few black boogers. I quickly used lads just to have a quick look at the times. Means shit if they get checked or anything, but have a quick look at the times. And if it's too close, if there's too many dogs running at the same time, don't bet.
Yeah.
If because they're not seconds, they're whatever's less than seconds, right? Whatever that word is.
Yeah.
So if there's too many dogs that are too close, just don't touch it. But if there's a clear out dog, then we're on to something.
We're on. Another question from Astro. Any games you're looking forward to for this week in the NRL?
We'll all be watching the Sharks, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
I'm liking DWZ to I'm pretty sure he's going to be in the same side as Sivo. So I reckon Sivo is going to get caught out again. He's not as agile, not as quick. And depends. I believe Parramatta bringing in Wonga Blake back, which is why Parramatta was so shit. So him coming back in, I believe he's just he'll come in. Sivo will have to come in, and the tries will come. So
do you reckon no Sean Johnson this week impacts DWZ?
Not with not with Wonga Blake coming in. Wonga Blake is a liability. If it's true he's coming in, he's a liability. Puts pressure on Sivo. Sivo will come in.
Yeah.
There'll be enough time to pass the ball to DWZ. It's got to pass it to him.
Coming from a Para fan, huh?
Yeah, I hate that guy. And Gutherson is just a motor mouth. So with no Gutherson, I think they're gone.
Yeah.
Don't even worry about Moses. It's Gutherson you're missing. What game was there? Who are the Rabbits playing?
I did look at that earlier today. Let me have a look for you. South playing the Bulldogs.
Yeah, I know the Bulldogs. Are supposed to bounce back and shit, but they were shit.
Yeah,
I don't think they.
And South were good last week. They finally won a game. So
yeah, good. Walker was good as well, but I believe there
he's
should be
not
enough.
playing.
I still think I'd be having a little play with them in a multi. I think Canberra are going to go play well. I think Canberra are going to come out good. Fogarty, Wyden, Rapana's due. He cost everybody on the weekend as well, I reckon.
Yeah, Hopewadi's been scoring most of their tries these days.
Yeah.
But he's playing inside Croker. He's always happy to pass it on. So
yeah, Croker doesn't have the legs anymore. So he's just happy to do his goal kicking, pass the ball. That's all he needs to do.
Yeah, that's true. Will you be sharing all your bets for the footy this week?
I'm going to put everything. Keep in mind that I am up a lot of money. So,
yep.
Pick and choose what you want to follow. I'm not going to put the stakes because I think that's irrelevant.
Yeah.
Only because I'm at where I'm at. I'll post whatever I play. For me, at the end of the day, as long as I'm in profit or break even, it's great. So 1 or 2 safes to cover a few of the risky bets.
Yeah.
Is sweet. That 6-point player mark or that, the kicking market was pretty safe for the first 2 weeks, I think. And then after, we all got screwed a little bit, just 2 points short with some kicks that could have been made. But yeah, I think we roll the momentum.
Yeah.
Momentum is.
It's a powerful force. Question from Louis. Did Sportsbet reach out to you or anything after your big win? Or did your account manager reach out to you?
So I already have an account manager.
Yeah.
But after that Warriors game and the Parramatta the next day, on Monday I got a email saying congratulations, blah blah blah, well done, whatever. I said, thank you. But after the weekend of taking 150k, there was nothing.
They're like, oh fuck.
Yeah. So the first week when I did pick up the first slips that were shown, they reached out and said, oh, congratulations. And yeah, the only way that I can tell that I'm doing well is when I don't get any offers. So I've had a sports bet match deposit offer for months. The only way you get them, you know when you get them when you're in the negative. When you're in the negative, you get them. Same with lads, same with nads. As soon as they don't like you breaking it. So, when you're in a minus, they'll give them to you. As soon as you break even, they stop. Then no one messages you. You get nothing. Nothing. So,
Hobbo wants to know what's the biggest outlay in bets you've had on a game?
I probably in a game probably about 2-3 grand.
Okay, that's decent. It's not too bad.
In saying that, there's at least 2 $500 safe bets. And the safe bets normally involve, one team to do this or one team to do that. And if it's a lopsided game, then that safe bet is shit. So maybe new strategy. Whoever I think is going to win, that's my prediction. I'll just roll with them as safe bets rather than getting 2 teams come to the party and play well because it's not happening.
Yeah.
In saying that,
keep going.
I think there would have been one or two more juicy slips because I think what was it? Fafita. Fafita should have crossed over. David Fafita. That should have been a try. And then I think I would have. Yeah, I would have had both teams 20 market. So I did miss out on a little bit extra, but yeah.
Yeah, it happens that way. Question from Huncho: have you ever been in a negative so bad that you stopped punting for a certain amount of time? Have you taken a break because you've been so far under?
I took a break. Well, I was off the chat for a while. Just because I purchased a new house and, so you know what, purchased a new house. Make sure I'm getting my repayments. Make sure I'm on top of everything. Putting money away if I've got any spare money, which I didn't, but just making sure I'm on top of it. So, I was in the chat, with the boys, and then all of a sudden, I just went away. So, just because I had outside work, cost of living, not say cost of living, but you just mainly bought a new place, so the repayment was like ridiculous, But I put myself into that situation, so I just had to manage it myself.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. How do you decide which book you're going to use?
Oh, I'm a bit loyal.
Right.
Sports, the app is easy to use. I like the format. The markets they offer you are the best. Their odds may not be the best, but got money already in that account. I don't want to go be depositing into another account. Neds and lads, they're always a little bit shorter in value, but they do give you more boosts. So you can up it a little bit. So in that respect, I think I'm gonna do a few bets. I might put it on there, but the last couple months I've just been using Sportsbet.
Yeah,
just because it's the one I go to. It's easy to use.
because you're technology challenged sometimes. I've noticed.
Very technology challenged. And all you guys giving me shit. What do they give me shit about the screen that I use? Black screen or white screen?
You use light mode, the white screen.
Oh, like that's easier to see, isn't it? Like why have a black screen in the background? I don't understand.
Yeah, true. I get you.
I've copped a lot of shit about that. I don't know.
Mate, you got 170,000 reasons to put whatever fucking screen you want on there, so don't worry about that.
Yeah, it's
have you paid for tips before?
Yes.
Do you encourage that?
Well, I've got nothing bad to say about the guy. I paid for notorious tips. And if you go in there and follow the horse tips, I don't think there's anybody else out there who does better horse tips.
Yeah.
And that's, you could go down to your local TAB and the guy could be doing form. The old man could be doing form and he could give you the same tips. But, you've got to put in the effort. You've got to look at the form guides. You've got to read it. You've got to study it a little bit. It is a guess. But his predictions on horses is pretty good, I've got to say.
Yeah. I think he does a great job on the horses. Those classes he does on the hounds are pretty good, and the greys.
Yeah, but if you start getting into the greyhounds, I believe you become too addicted.
Yeah.
So it's easy to win, but you'll donate it all back. You've got to the dogs. There's just a race every fucking 30 seconds. That's the issue. Every 30 seconds there's a race, and there's about 10 race meets a day, 7 days a week. Like, the one thing he had, and we don't know, like if you're gonna have control and you follow his tips, it's maybe great. But the horses, I believe he's probably the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you paid anybody else or?
There was once ages ago. I don't know if it was you who referred me to it back in the day. Was there a dog one that we were on?
Oh fuck, I don't know. Oh yeah. That guy was a bust.
Yeah, I think I put a couple of hundred here, and I had a great return, and this guy who had the He was like, "Oh, that's fantastic." I was like, "Well, fuck, what are you punting then? These are your tips. Are you confident or not?" I've paid for another group, and you got to pay them monthly. I was like, oh, "Fuck this shit." Yeah, I don't, because you don't know where they're getting the tips from. You don't know, and they're not. The ratio is not there. So I was like, you know what, bugger this.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it'd be much of your life. You're on the phone 24/7. Because if you miss out, you're pissed off because you paid for it and you didn't get on.
Yeah.
It'll consult your screen time will go to 12 hours a day. It'll be ridiculous.
Yeah. We can't have that. All right, last question for me. If you could give everybody one tip around betting, what would it be?
Everyone will say bet what you can afford to lose, blah blah blah. But you got to be having fun. If you're not having fun, don't do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you can afford to lose it, lose it. But if it's not fun, then don't do it. It's got to be enjoyable. If it's not enjoyable, go do something else.
Yeah.
That's what I believe.
Yeah. No, that's true. It's a good point. I think everyone kind of starts betting for that reason because it's going to be fun. No one's like betting because they need money. Well, probably they are, but they shouldn't be. But you're right. I think a lot of people start because it is fun, and then eventually you get hooked, you get addicted, you feel like you're in a hole, you feel like it owes you something, then you got to win it back, and then that's when you're in trouble. So it's a good tip. Just bet on the things that make you happy. And I realized that. I went down this fucking rabbit hole on the dogs once. It would have been probably March last year, I think. And I haven't touched them since. Fucking went down, lost heaps bad. Didn't take a break because I ain't no quitter. But now I only touch the sports that I watch and then I know what the fuck I'm talking about. And I stay off the animals full time.
Yeah, nice. I like that.
Yeah.
Glad you had the control.
Yeah. That's what I'm all about. Well, Mark, look, let's wrap this up. It's getting a bit late. I know you probably have a big day of work and maybe probably more punting that you need to get back to. But I appreciate you coming on, sharing all your wins and talking about it. And if anyone's keen on following Mark and the shit that he does, jump into our Discord server. It's all free. The link's in the description somewhere. Get amongst it. We're having a lot of fun these days. Any last words, Mark?
Sounds good, boys. Speak to you soon. Don't go crazy, but yeah, make sure you're having fun. Let's win. Yeah. And no jinxing bets, fuckers. No jinxing bets, yeah? If somebody's got a bet on, fuck it. Yeah. If you're going to jinx it, fuck off.
Yeah. I think that's a good point. All right, Mark.
Yeah,
Up the Maroons. I'll see you in the Discord, bro.
See you, bro. Thanks, Daniel.